This is a video showing Disposable Heroes and a coffin for 7 brothers. I want to make a quick video showing one turn of the game. It is an activation game, so you activate one unit and then your opponent activates a unit until all of your 8 units have been activated and your opponent's, and then a new turn starts. First I will explain terrain. There's not very much of it on the table, but I want to just show a quick turn. I'll explain terrain and how it works. This area would be considered a -1 to your opponent's accuracy if you had a squad there and they were trying to shoot at it. This would be a -3 to your opponent's accuracy if they were to try to shoot at you if you were behind the wall. This right here, I would only consider them a -1 to opponent's accuracy if they're to try to shoot at them, because they're on a hill. They're not very well protected. If they're behind the hill, I'd give them a -2. This rock is pretty tough, so I would say a -3. This tank would be a -3, and the woods would be a -2. Now buildings would be a -4. Reinforced bunkers would be a -5. Some buildings would be only a -2. For instance, like an outhouse. You won't be able to stop bullets with just an outhouse. They're usually made out of wood or whatnot. And it depends on the terrain you and your opponent have on the table. And it's all up to you and your opponent. Every soldier has what's called a gut score, and that is like a morale, how tough they are under fire. The Russians, right here, have a gut score of 9. That's their highest gut score in the army, which is their lieutenant, and it's a 9. The SS have a gut score of 10. A little bit crazier, a little bit gutsier, if you will, and their gut score is 10. Now, I'll explain the forces that I have here. The Russians have a command squad and a lieutenant in the woods. Here's a T-35 tank, a 9-man rifle squad with a sergeant, a corporal, and there's a light machine gunner in there, and a squad of snipers. Russians are kind of cool. They get to squad up their snipers, and they've got some really cool little special rules like vodka courage, which you can play, drunken Russians. And the SS, the Waffle SS, have a command squad right here, and their lieutenant and a staff sergeant. An MG-42 with a sergeant supporting a 7-man rifle squad with 2 Panzerfausts and a corporal. The SS have a sniper, only one, and his spotter right there in a squad in the woods. I don't know if you can see them, but they're right there. So the game begins with the scenario, and your opponent and you can choose whatever scenario you like, and there's tons of them, and you can make up your own, and that'll determine deployment and how the game proceeds. And then you go to initiative, which will be a die roll added to your gut score. So it's all 10-sided dice. Disposable Heroes uses 10-sided, and you roll the dice, and I'll roll for the Russians, and they score a 1 plus their gut score of 9 equals 10. So they have initiative 10. The SS will most likely beat that because they have a gut score of 10 and they roll a 5, so they get a 15. So they beat the Russians' initiative roll, and they get to go first. They will activate one unit with a Panzerfaust. They have 2 Panzerfausts here. I roll to hit, and then I roll location on the vehicle. I roll the hits right now, and since the tank has no cover, this would provide cover for infantry, but not a tank. He would have to be behind a wall or something with cover, like in the forest or something. So he has no cover. Their accuracy is 5. They score 1 hit, 5 or under, to hit. So on 2 dice, they scored 1 hit. Now I will roll for location, and I roll lower hull on the tank. Now explosives have a weapon chart. For each explosive, it'll be a different chart, and you roll a die, and then you look what number you got on the die, and it'll tell you what number of armor that you can penetrate with that roll. Every nation, every army has access to different explosives and different ways of using those explosives, and they have their weaknesses and their strengths. Germans, their Panzerfaustes are very, very deadly to tanks, and so I will roll to see if this Panzerfaust penetrates the armor of the T-35. I roll a 5, which is enough to penetrate the armor value of the tank. So I roll on a penetration chart, and really there's only one chart that you have to memorize, and that's the penetration chart for vehicles. Everything else kind of just comes naturally. You want to know what your army can do and what it's capable of and what the weaknesses are. So you automatically just learn that by looking through it and studying it. Now, the chart is very simple. I've only played maybe, 20, 30 games, and I really don't look at the chart after maybe like the 10th game that I've played. And I'm relatively new to this game. So, I'll roll on the penetration chart, and I roll a natural 10, which means the vehicle is completely blown up. Now, I'll see if any of the Russians nearby the tank are wounded by the blast. And it looks like 2 Russians are killed along with the tank. So I put a big crater right there, and it'll provide a little bit of cover for the unit right here, but not as much as the tank. Now it will be the Russians' turn. The Russians just had their tank destroyed, so they will throw smoke. Your commander or your lieutenant of your army can have smoke grenades, and he can throw smoke within 10 inches of him, anywhere within 10. And I roll 5 dice. 4 or under gives me a 2-inch smoke cloud. I can place anywhere within that 10 inches. They just have to be touching. I can make it any shape I want. The only stipulation, 10 inches has to be touching. Now, I'll roll. It looks like I get 3 smoke clouds. I think that'll be enough to cover his unit, but not his whole army. So that's within 10 inches, and that creates a smoke screen so the MG could not open up on the command squad. So I place a marker indicating that they have been activated. Now it is the Germans' turn. The Germans can unload here, but I think they will move into a better position to try to get this command squad next turn. So I'll move them. And I will determine what table edge that smoke is coming from, or the wind direction is. And it is coming from this side. Now next turn, this cloud of smoke will be taken off, and this squad will be more visible. But we won't worry about that. That's another rule. It's kind of cool. You have to learn where the wind is coming from to know where the smoke comes off first.